Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us. I appreciate you being here, and we will jump right to the topic. Let me begin by thanking several folks for being here. I want to thank Emily Reynolds, who's the chair of Tennessee Board of Regents, Evan Cope, who's the chair of the Tennessee Higher Education Committee, as well as Dr. Joe DiPietro, who's here from UT, Russ Eaton, who is our, interim chair of THEC, or interim director of THEC. I appreciate you being here, as well as a group of legislators who have joined us here today. Let me begin with updating you on the Drive to 55 and tell you a little bit about how we got to this moment in time. When it comes to higher education in Tennessee, we're in a fundamentally different position than we were even a few years ago. This year, Tennessee led in sheer numbers in the number of FAFSA completion, the best indication that we have of college interest and enrollment. That means more students in Tennessee filled out the FAFSA form than in Texas or California or New York or Ohio or Florida or a lot of those other states that have a lot more students than we do. At our community colleges this year, we saw a 25% increase in full-time freshman enrollment and a 20% increase in our TCATs. There are currently 16,291 Tennessee Promise students. In the last year, if you total the number of Tennesseans who have signed up for the Promise, nearly 120,000 students are having conversations about colleges in their homes. We're also reaching out to adults who have never been to college or have some college but no degree. We launched the Tennessee Reconnect initiative last spring to do just that. This January, we'll launch a massive statewide outreach effort to connect with 110,000 Tennesseans who are over halfway completed toward a college degree but have dropped out. These initiatives are focused on changing the conversation around going to college in Tennessee and changing the culture of expectations in our state, and that is happening. All of this started in 2011, when it didn't take long to pick up the theme from our employers that the conversation about economic development was turning into a conversation about K-12 education and higher education. In 2012, we convened higher education leaders from around the state to see where we were as a state when it came to post-secondary success. We also heard the concerns of our employers about having the skilled workforce to fill the jobs available. And that was confirmed by studies showing that 55% of the jobs available in 2025 would require some kind of post-secondary degree or certificate. At that time, only 32% of Tennesseans qualified. And so we began the Drive to 55 2 years ago. While we're increasing access in unprecedented ways, we also know that we have to focus on students' success. The conversation that started in 2011 has brought us here today. The changing landscape in higher education has prompted a broader discussion about whether we're putting our colleges and universities in the best position for success. If we're going to reach our Drive to 55, then the next step in that effort is making sure that our schools are organized, supported, and empowered in the efforts to increase the number of Tennesseans with a post-secondary degree. To that end, we're working on and we'll bring to the legislature this year the Focus on College and University Success Act. The Focus Act will include several key strategies around, number one, providing more support for community and technical colleges, number two, increasing the autonomy and the local control for TBR universities, and three, strengthening THEC. First, currently, TBR oversees 46 colleges and universities, ranging from technical colleges to medical and law schools spread across the state. We need to make sure that our TBR system is better aligned to manage and focus on serving the unique needs and opportunities created by the Drive to 55. Under this proposal, TBR would have a concentrated focus on the state's 13 community colleges and 27 TCATs. At the same time, the missions and futures of our 6 state universities now within TBR, from ETS in Upper East Tennessee to Tennessee State, Austin Peay, Tennessee Tech, and MTSU here in Middle Tennessee, to the University of Memphis, need to have more autonomy and more authority to better serve and respond to the unique needs in regional economies. We're proposing today that each of those 6 universities have their own governing board with specific duties. Those boards would appoint the campus president, manage the university budget and set tuition, and oversee other operational tasks associated with board responsibilities. TBR would continue to provide key administrative support for those 6 state universities. This will free up TBR to have that more concentrated focus on the growing needs and demands of the 40 community and technical colleges across Tennessee. An additional strategy is through a retooled and strengthened THEC to help us coordinate the many moving parts and help set and fund our most important priorities. The strengthened THEC would take on an enhanced coordinating role in higher ed, first making sure that we see progress on a cohesive statewide master plan for higher ed, second, to maintain the academic program quality, and third, to manage higher education finance, from capital projects and tuition ranges to the outcomes-based funding formula, giving formal structure as we move forward. To be clear, we're still developing this proposal, and we will work with our higher education professionals to address many of the details needed. We will constitute a transition task force made up of higher education professionals to take up issues that pop up along the way as we work through this new opportunity to take public higher education to the next level. For faculty and staff at our campuses, I want to be clear, nothing changes because of this proposal. This is about structure and alignment. Over the last 2 decades, there's been a lot of conversation around governance structure in higher education. We want to be clear that it's the progress that's been made in our drive to 55 that has led us to this point. Right now, Tennessee is at the forefront of innovation in public higher education. Our future and economic development will depend on us having a workforce that is ready for high-skill, high-wage jobs. It's our job to make sure that our colleges and universities are strategically aligned to support student success, and the Focus Act will put us on that path. I'm very pleased to be joined by the leadership of the legislature, the General Assembly here in Tennessee today, and I would like to ask the Lieutenant Governor if he would come forward and make a few remarks.
Absolutely, and thank you, Governor. I don't know what more you say after what the Governor just said there. Now, I think our job as legislators and our job in the executive branch is to make sure we provide the best product we possibly can for the people of the state of Tennessee the most efficient way possible. And I think all of us in the past have realized maybe higher ed isn't operating the most efficiently, is not operating in a way to where we have this local control, where we get a lot of buy-in from the business leaders and others, whether it's in my area in northeast Tennessee with East Tennessee State University, or whether it's all the way down with the University of Memphis where Leader Norris is from. So I think this is an exciting program that we're moving forward. I know it's still in the infancy stage now. We'll still be working toward this. But I think if you look at what we're trying to do here in the state of Tennessee, and we as legislators travel the nation, literally. Mark, of course, has been a leader in some of the legislative organizations. We've had leaders in the National Conference of State Legislators and on. And people are looking at the state of Tennessee and saying, what are you all doing right? Not only in K through 12, how are you making that work, and the test scores are going up, but with the Tennessee Promise and with the Tennessee Reconnect and all the other programs that the governor has started that is working to make sure we reach that drive to 55. And I believe that this will be not only a tool in the toolbox, this could be the toolbox that everything goes into and makes it all work. So I look forward through the next legislative session to working out the details in this, and look forward to being able to look back one day and say this is when we made higher education work more efficiently for the people of the state of Tennessee. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Lieutenant Governor. Also grateful to have our speaker with us, Speaker Beth Harwell.
Thank you. And Governor, I want to, on behalf of the State House, thank you for setting very clear goals for education in our great state. And I'll also commit that we will diligently work with you to meet those goals, as we have in the past. You know, just in my district alone, Nashville State Community College has seen a 27% increase in enrollment in just 12 months. That clearly indicates there is a need to look at the structure of our community colleges and our four-year institutions. So thank you, Governor, for presenting this working document, and the legislature looks forward to working with you on it.
Thank you, Speaker. I didn't realize this. We really are kind of covering the state here with leadership. So we started Upper East. We went to Nashville. We're now going to go to West with our Senate Majority Leader, Mark Norris. Senator Norris.
Thank you very much, Governor. What a great way to begin the holiday season. Governor Haslam, thank you for this gift, if you will. I'm looking out here in the audience, and I see Representative Ron Lawler here from Shelby County with me, Representative White here on the dais. I know that they're dancing in the streets at home at the University of Memphis, thinking about what may come to pass with this level of autonomy. So thank you for taking this initiative. I see Commissioner Randy Boyd here in the audience. We have worked together under Governor Haslam's Drive to 55 on lots of innovations here the last several years. And what you're proposing, Governor Haslam, is really going to help us cut through a lot of the red tape. It's going to make the process less bureaucratic, I think, and much more efficient, which is what Commissioner Boyd and I see needed out there every day. The governor mentioned two words that I heard: path, and we have our State Pathways to Prosperity initiative, and alignment, and that's a key component of our labor education alignment program. What's proposed in the Focus Act, as I see it, is really going to help us serve those needs. I tell people it's all about the 3 E's: employment, education, and economic opportunity. This restructuring will serve that well, and I'm proud to be a part of it. Thank you, Governor.
And not to leave out Southeast Tennessee, the Majority Leader of the House of Representatives, Gerald McCormick. Gerald?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Governor, for having me here. I'll echo what the other legislators have said, and I look forward to helping, as I've done in the past and we've done in the House in the past, to perfect this plan. We've done some great things in higher ed and in K through 12, and I think we'll work with the governor and the administration to work on this plan and even improve it and do some great things for the ones that are the most important, who are our students and our future workforce in Tennessee. Thank you, Governor, for having us here.
Thank you, Gerald. I want to emphasize one thing in closing. This is a plan that I am convinced is the right thing for Tennessee, but Leader McCormick just said to work on this plan and improve it. We see this as a plan that is not completely finished. We realize that it's time for us to bring in some higher education professionals to help us with the details of this, and then obviously the General Assembly will have a full and complete discussion. But I honestly feel like this is the next step in our drive to 55. I'm convinced that Tennessee can go from a state that nobody thought of when it came to education innovation to be the state that everybody points to and says, there's a state that's making a difference for the future of all their citizens.